My disease started just before I was 50 years old. The name of the disease is called multiple system atrophy. The doctor told me that the type I have is striatonigral degeneration, and it is a fatal disease, and it takes away your physical abilities one by one until it will eventually affect my lungs and breathing. The doctor told me your life expectancy is about 5 to 6 years from the time the disease began. 6 years have already passed, and I cannot speak, roll over, nor walk. Over this time, I have truly realized that I used to live with such a blessed body. I have been really amazed by the fact that human beings cannot fully appreciate the meaning and happiness of being normal. For me, my illness has given me the chance to observe and gain the full realization of how amazing our bodies are. It is as if I was given the opportunity to step outside myself and see more clearly. These days, people call me a person with physical disabilities, and I'm categorized as disabled. But I do not really feel so. Of course, it is inconvenient that my body does not move, but I can live my life in a way that is more honest to myself, making true friendships, meeting lovely people, much more than when I was healthy. So I started to think that inconvenience is not at all unhappy, and it really depends on how you live. I had been married for 30 years, but it broke easily when I started not to be able to move because of my disease. I think there were also other reasons why the marriage had to end. It may be just that my disease showed that our relationship was not strong enough to get over my becoming disabled. The harder thing in becoming physically disabled was that I could no longer have the right to be a parent, because people with physical disabilities cannot even look after themselves. As my body does not move, I cannot do housework nor look after my children. I have lost my dignity as a woman. Having said that, God has left me something I can still do even with this body. I never wanted to become resentful for the rest of my life. Instead, I made a conscious choice that in the time left to me, I would live it fully. When I began to change my attitude to one of being grateful and of praying for everyone's happiness, then many people started to help me in ways beyond what I could imagine. I was amazed that other people were willing to give, whereas in the past, I used to get disappointed when I asked even for the simplest of help. People would hesitate to do even this little thing. Through all the hardship, God is watching over me without fail. Before my illness, I had been developing my view on the peace movement and thought this is the way I would live my life. And as my disease progressed, I began voicing this as much as I could. In my case, having to become disabled made me realize the importance of this issue of bringing peace to the world. In fact, this issue of bringing peace to the world applies to everyone, whether able-bodied or with a disability. I used to be healthier than average. I was blessed to have many children, and I was given a happy life. I thanked God vaguely, but on looking back, I can see I was not hungry enough to live my life. I was not focusing on the now. I have since realized the time has come to understand this momentous point in our human history, the importance of now, of today, and the significance of the way we choose to live our lives. I think the life we are given is irreplaceable with or without disabilities. Nowadays, many older women are strongly encouraged to have an abortion because they are told there is a chance the baby will be born disabled. My understanding is if the life was not supposed to be lived, then they would not be born. If someone was born to this world with a disability, it means that the one has something to do in this world. This is so clearly demonstrated in the example of the most admirable Miss Helen Keller, who was profoundly deaf and blind, and yet she became a beacon to us all. Without her disability, she would not have met and worked with Anne Sullivan, and because she experienced the world without light, only through their work together did she find out the importance of the light. Her successful overcoming of her hardships gives us such a shining example. We human beings can easily forget gratitude for this gift of life. We often cannot appreciate the happiness that we have when we are healthy and able-bodied. So for all of us, people with disabilities can give direction to many others by coming out in public with courage and stating what they feel without hesitation. If people stop and wonder why a person with a disability looks so happy even though they see the one is disabled, then if that person's life can be a useful, a trigger for others to see how they could live their life more fully, then it gives meaning for all disabled people to be active. There is a saying in Japan, living with tears is one life, and living with laughter is also one life. I prefer for myself and other people to live our lives, laughing happily together and supporting each other, rather than a life with tears. When we laugh, I feel God smiles with us too. Thank you very much.